Amidst complaints of late start of the exams, we'll be gauging how it went across the country and then also pick the thoughts of someone who's in monitoring the education sector shortly. Also in the bulletin, majority side of the Finance Committee in Parliament deny reports that the Finance Committee suspended deliberations on the E-LEVY bill currently before Parliament. Details of that as well. Before then, here are highlights of big stories we've been covering for you today.
News at 10 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Super Fix Tile Cement.
The Accra International Conference Center is to be pulled down to make way for a new one following safety concerns over the integrity of the structure. But there are already questions over the transparency of the process.
We are not against some work going on at the Accra International Conference Center based on expert advice from the engineers. What we are concerned about, Mr. Speaker, is the lack of transparency in how the plans are to reconstruct a new edifice at a whopping amount of 116,384,500 euros.
Value for money audit will be done. Secondly, the project has gone through a PPA, and so we will put every single detail before the committee, and if necessary, before this House. Indeed, it will come to this House, and for the House to either accept or to decline it.
The Domahini and President of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, Osajifo Siadeyo Ajimambedu, has descended heavily on government over what he says is the complete neglect of the region.
As a matter of urgency, you demand they say a buying. Uncle Canahon, Abadia, airport, Sugana Airport, Abono for President Airport, Yibununga, Nina Neba Yusu. Yet he has a Bakoya big crime. Sikapotina Badioye, Kakra, no quatrain, and crying the capital, or ye. Ufriwa, the next a year, I war a Kumasi. Jessica Badiako, buy a pass one, buy a pass two, and now Kumasi Airport, Korea Koso, Koho Airport, Kowa Airstrip, Kotamali, Yura, Abonofo, Ababon in the eye.
Regional Minister Justina Owusu-Banahene claims the first phase of the Sunyani Airport should be completed by the end of January.
The last coat of bitumen has been laid. When that dries, the Transport Minister, together with the engineers, will come and do the technical inspection. That should complete the first phase of the airport project.
They will come and do the technical and the engineering.
The contractor working on the second phase, which includes the arrival hall, is nearing completion too. Everything is on course.
Let's go straight to the details of our stories for tonight. The first ever national standardized test ended across the country with claims of late start in some regions. We would hear from the Ashanti region later, but first, in the Greater Accra region, almost 50,000 primary 4 pupils took part in the exam. The test at some centers started late because officials say vehicular traffic in the capital delayed the arrival of exam materials.
By 11 a.m., pupils had started the test at some centers.
So far, so good, except that we face the challenge of distributing the papers because of traffic situation in Greater Accra.
The exam was organized by the West African Examination Council WAEC in literacy and numeracy.
This year we are assessing primary 4 students, and then we have primary 5 to do intervention for those who are not doing well. And then primary 6 will test them again. This is an initiative that is supposed to help Ghana achieve academically and at the same time ensure that we are giving the opportunity for intervention. So this data that is going to come out of these exams is going to be used by GES to plan professional development, or what is called INSET, for teachers to improve their skills. The results from these exams will go to parents so that they know how well their students or their wards are doing.
Yes, sir. The education minister said private schools could be included subsequently if they showed interest. 48,745 pupils sat for the test in Greater Accra. Some of the pupils were excited after the test.
It's very simple for me. The one that I do not do well with is the mathematics. I am not good in mathematics.
Is it different from your normal classes that you have been doing from your teachers?
Some is different and some is the same. So.
I perform well. I thought it could be hard, but it's not hard.
It was very easy for us.
And in the Ashanti region, our correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar reports that maiden edition of the National Standardized Test was greeted with mixed reactions among Class 4 pupils.
The exams, scheduled to begin at 9 a.m., delayed for more than 2 hours at both the Presbyterian Basic School and Ahmadiyya Basic School centers. This was due to late arrival of the papers at the center. Some of the pupils also had to come from far places to the examination center. At 11:30 a.m., all were seated for the first paper to begin. In an hour later, they were done with the mathematics subjects. English language shortly followed, and soon the pupils came out smiling. They were excited to have written the test and hoped for good grades.
How did the exams go?
The exams was going well, and I was able to do it well.
What you learned, was it the same thing that appeared?
Yes, it was the same thing appeared in the exams paper. It was a little hard for me, but it is good for me to write the exams. To pass it so that my family will be happy for me, to appreciate me with good things. It was simple for me, and it was well. I want my school to be first.
Are you sure that what you've written can earn you 100%?
Yes.
The National Standardized Test is aimed at evaluating learning outcomes in English and mathematics for learners in Class 4. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Let's assess what happened today across the country. We've been joined by Peter Pate Ante. He is the Executive Director for the Institute for Education Studies, IFEST. Mr. Ante, good evening to you and thank you for your time. To start with, can you tell us about what you also heard from across the country regarding the maiden edition? Government says it was certainly to gather enough data on how we can better assess primary education. But from the indications you've picked on the ground, what do you say about it?
Thank you very much and good evening to your viewers. I think that the objective of a national standardized test was it's basically to ensure that we assess the competencies that are enshrined in the standard-based curriculum and see whether the students are actually picking those competencies. And where we realize that there are challenges with it, we'll be able to propose interventions and other things to enable the students up their academic life. Especially, we will be able to know the extent of learning poverty and also to know the learning gap among schools, between peoples, and all those things. And that is why from day one, some of us were of the view that we need to do a lot of preparation because this is technically a diagnostics test, and a diagnostics test is supposed to just diagnose. So you don't need to put the kids through all the stress and the stuff, the kind of things that happened today. So our assessment of the test today just tells us or confirms our fears that the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education were ill prepared. They were not fully prepared for this particular test. And as such, we don't think that the results that will come out from this, I mean the performance that will be exhibited by the students, would be a true performance of these kids, because you ask the kids to start the exams at 11. Some started as late as 1, 2. These are kids between 8 to 10 years, class 4. The kind of stress that you put them through. And as we're talking now, there's a video going around. As late as 6 p.m., 7 p.m., there were kids still in classrooms writing the exams. What kind of assessment are you doing? You're not going to get the needed data that you so much want to get in order that you'll be able to help improve these kids' learning outcomes. So we think that this has been an exercise in futility. They will be able to take on the calendar that they did this. They will pat themselves at the back and say that, oh, we said we'll do a national assessment, standardized test, and we've done it. But I tell you, the results that we'll get today will not be a true reflection of how most of the cases are performing, and therefore any policy measure that will come out of it will not yield the needed results.
That's a pretty interesting position you share, Mr. Anti, considering how government right from the beginning said that they had done enough preparation to undertake this. What would you have advised be done so at least we wouldn't have been recording these kinds of glitches that we saw today?
All those who have followed me, especially last week, Saturday, I was on your program, Key Points. I made it clear, and I showed with evidence that the ministry and Ghana Education Service were not prepared for this. And this was based on the WAEC assessment that was done and presented to the ministry. So everybody know, those of us who know, we know that they were not prepared for this. Just that people were bent on doing this so that they will say that they have carried out something like this. We were thinking that because of the ill preparation and the unique nature of this kind of examination. See, that is where the problem is. This is not a terminal exams or like a certificate exams or matriculation exams, or this is not a high stakes test. This is just a diagnostic test. And a diagnostic test is supposed to be taken in an environment that the child is so much relaxed and will be able to give out his or her best. That will reflect his or her performance. You don't carry case and then push them into a cluster-based something kind of examination and expect that the children will be able to do well. Of course, the original operational plan of these exams recommended that this should be a school-based test and not a cluster kind of test conducted that WAEC is using in doing. So we saw all these things coming, and we said that, look, you need to hold on, think through the preparation and do this next academic year. And this is a position that a lot of people were in agreement with us. Unfortunately, as I've said, people within the ministry and then Ghana Education Service maybe think that they need to carry out this thing so that they will take the box and say that we said we will do a national standardized test and we've done it. They are not thinking about the kids. They are not thinking about the importance of the assessment process. They are not thinking about what the data, the validity of the data they will get will be. They are not thinking about it. They are just thinking about their self-glorification and the saying that during our time we're able to conduct this.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much for your time this evening, Mr. Peter Pateyanti, Executive Director for the Institute for Education Studies. Certainly in the coming days we'll hear what government's position would be and what the final data would be. We'll all be keeping a keen eye on that. This is still News at 10 on TV3. Let's go on to some other stories tonight. The managers of Media General have assured its clientele and business partners of value for their investment going into 2022. At the client's end-of-year soiree, Group Operations Officer Winfred Affle emphasized the need for stronger partnership and collaboration.
Media General is a leader when it comes to media practice in Ghana. Over the years, it does a lot of business also with institutions, individuals and corporations. And tonight it assembled all of them to say thank you to them for the business it has done with them.
It's the end of the year and we need to appreciate our clients and our partners. Because of them we exist. And they help us, they support our programs. And so there's a need for us to say thank you to them.
For some of the clients, the results and experience they get with doing business with Media General is what keeps them coming back.
TV3 is a fantastic media house, and I agree with the ratings that TV3 is the leader. And in my journey for so many years now, we are together in connecting with our consumers, and they get it right when it comes to targeting the right consumer. And when we partner with them to target a particular consumer on a particular program, we mostly get it right.
So far, we are happy with our partnership and we'll continue doing business as long as we realize that the data is showing good.
The program they bought it, they are the mix of all kind of different programs. It is not only the reality based, it is also like the TV novella, even the TV news of 360, which is widely spread out throughout the Ghana, which is really helping us to bring our brand or enhance our brand.
It's the quality of programs they have, quality of relationship that we have, and a lot more.
So going into 2022, Media General has promised its clients value for their money.
We as an institution, we research into whatever we want to do. And so we always are very much aware of how we can add value and play value on whatever we are doing. And so for our programs and our content, we ensure that with research backing, we're able to give them what to help their brands and services.
And for their viewers, nothing but the best, and also the introduction of programs that is suitable for all groups of people and for all ages. Grace Hamwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
All right, and we hope that you keep doing business with us going into the year 2022 and beyond. This is News at 10 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we'll take you to Parliament and more.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
It was HUS 10 for the Employee of the Quarter Award. Dubai was calling. Oh, and she almost forgot we are still in a pandemic. So she called asking me where to access a COVID test within hours of her surprise trip. She was surprised I got my results within 12 hours just before my last trip outside. Landbill Laboratory and Diagnostic Center is the place. Unmatched quality service and professionalism with a very friendly, hospitable staff atmosphere. 8 hours later, the email came with her results. Now, you know where to go for a COVID-19 urgent test for your next trip out. They are the most efficient I know of. Landbill Laboratory and Diagnostic Center. Results in 12 hours or less.
Ghana's biggest comedy night is here to party! From Nana's Incomplete 3, hashtag the party experience.
Christiana Love, when you were not married and someone married you, you started singing Amena Doko Doko Vimufa. Yes, you are playing me.
Date 23rd December 2021. Venue National Theatre. Time 7 p.m. Rate is 60 Ghana cedis regular and 100 Ghana cedis VIP. Dial *447 *332# to purchase your ticket now. For more inquiries, call 0506 780720. Powered by Hallmark Cafe. Supported by Ghana's first ever comedy party.
Place a bet, search on the web, or get the app. One Expert Bookmaker Company.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
Munafikin TV. Na tun fadi maka. Bari batun TV ga. TV kana son TV mai kyau. Sai dai Franco TV. Gaskiya. Na samu mai kyau ko. Abba. Wanda ka bada garanti. Abba. Ita kin fada mu bai sorin sai. Wala. Muje. Na ninjida. Ga TV. Wannan 55. Wannan 55 ne. Allah ya san. Kaga sanu kali, kaga 55 nga.
3025755533 and I said 0546133188 from.
It's
about to go down. The biggest throwback party to hit the capital this December. Music from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s like this. Or this.
Here I come.
Or even this. The unforgettable era of vinyl DJ decks, gramophone, cassettes, ghetto blasters, and many more. So where my OGs at? Come, let's relive those moments on Thursday, 23rd December from 7 p.m. at the Bayview Village Atomic as we jam just before Christmas, rocking your favorite old school shudder. There will be karaoke sessions, dance battles, and many more activities to turn the night up. Rate 50 Ghana cedis. Reserve your VIP table now. Call 0545 477777 or 0558 182255. The Accra Retro Party is powered by 3FM 92.7 in collaboration with 360 Events. The Accra Retro Party. Let's take it back. This Sunday on Mentor X, it's the final eviction night. 6 contestants remain, but only 5 will earn a place at the grand finale. To make it past this round, they have to be flawless in all their performances. It's going to be a night filled with all sorts of emotions, and you have the power to determine which contestants make it to the grand finale. Keep voting your favorite contestant's name on the short code *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app and vote. Join us again this Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on TV3 as the contestants justify their inclusion at the grand finale of Mentor X. TV3 Mentor takes you higher.
Mentor's gonna take you down.
Mentor X is brought to you by Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil and Napa Foods, Sense Body Spray, Club, Better Malt, Tom Vita, Close Up, Geisha, Drugnet,
Cowbell, our milk.
What's your take on an ideal guy?
I'm attracted to sapiosexuals.
Oh, sapiosexuals. Cool.
The smart guys.
See, I am one.
What's your take for the constitutional review?
See, they are really disturbing. They are worrying. Review. Constitutional review. The call for a constitutional review is not a bad call.
Really?
At all. Especially in the light of the fact that some laws have outlived their usefulness.
It was just gentlemen. I think Afena-Jan.
Afena-Jan? Who doesn't know Afena-Jan? Excellent footballer. Dangerous. Tactical.
There's this show on TV. It's a music show. Mentor.
I like Mentor. See, my family watches Mentor. Everybody. Hey, see, everywhere Mentor.
Where edition?
Eh?
Where edition?
Mentor's gonna take you higher.
Don't be clueless. Stay on top of issues with 3news.com and tune in to Media General's radio platforms on the go using 3news.com.
Welcome back to News at 10 on TV3. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has denied reports that the Finance Committee suspended deliberations on the E-Levy bill currently before Parliament. Sources within the committee, after its meeting late Friday, indicated that the plenary may not be able to take the approval of the bill, which was laid under a certificate of urgency. Speaking exclusively to Komla Kluche, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah says consultations are still ongoing before a final approval by the House.
The committee has been holding several meetings on different referrals. We have not taken the E-Levy bill yet. We've been dealing with many other referrals, including loan agreements, tax waivers, some of the estimates, and anytime we finish we come on the floor and take it. We haven't taken E-Levy yet. It is possible we may rise tonight or we may rise tomorrow, depending on the appetite of the House and the speed at which we're able to carry through, and also depending on how the committees are able to finish the various estimates that are there. Where we are now, committees have to finish their work, come on the floor. If it meets the indulgence of the floor or the plenary and we approve it, then all of that will go into appropriations. And then we'll go back to committee and finance committee to consider appropriations and come back. We also have the E-LEVY to look at. I think there's another loan agreement that we have to look at, and then we'll bring all of that to the floor. If there's enough time to do that tonight, we'll do that. If there's not much time and we have to do it tomorrow, we'll have to do it tomorrow. But on the matter of the E-LEVY, you remember yesterday I mentioned that we're still in consultation with telcos. I think just about 10-15 minutes ago, the telcos have issued a statement putting on paper their commitment to cut by about 25% their charges.
That's an interesting revelation by the Information Minister that the telcos have given indication they'll be cutting their charge by some 25%. We'll be analyzing that in subsequent bulletins for you to get to know where your stand is. Away from that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has described Reverend Father Campbell as a living saint. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was speaking at the launch of Father Campbell's book, The Leper's Priest.
The book, The Leper's Priest, chronicles the life of Reverend Father Campbell when he arrived in Ghana in 1971. It again emphasizes his humanitarian work in taking care of the lepers. The 12-chapter page document recounts his work at the prison service and also at the Children's Hospital in Accra. The book makes turning emphasis of several projects the Reverend Father Campbell embarked on. The over 300-page book, The Leper's Priest, also underscores the work of Father Campbell in taking care of people out of poverty. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who launched the book, described him as a living saint.
His dedication to the very people many of us would not touch makes him, as Honorable Samakujetu said, makes him a living saint. We must celebrate him while he is with us. That is why in his 50th year in Ghana, we set this day aside to mark his works in this book.
A former Chief Justice, Justice Tudor Georgina Wood, lauded Father Campbell for his compassion for humanity.
Indeed, of all his investment in the lives of people, whether it happens to be in education, the prison ministry, healthcare, caring for the lonely, the sick, the poor, or promoting rural development, the closest to his generous heart and spirit are activities related to those afflicted with leprosy.
Now let's find out what's happening elsewhere on the international front just before we go. And intercommunal clashes that erupted in Cameroon's Fort North region over the past 2 weeks have driven at least 100,000 people from their homes, although the actual number may be much higher. The UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, said on Friday. In the last few days, more than 85,000 people have fled into neighboring Chad, while at least 15,000 Cameroonians have been forced to flee inside their country. The clashes have also taken 44 lives and injured another 111, with 112 villages reportedly burned down. The UK's top civil servant has stepped aside from his role leading an inquiry into Downing Street's lockdown parties after it emerged an event was held in his own office. Simon Case had been due to report on claims COVID rules were broken at events for staff last year, but his role was put into doubt after reports as a party was held in his office while London was under COVID rules. Number 10 said the probe would be concluded by senior civil servants Sue Gray. And that's how we bring the bulletin to a close. Thank you very much for sharing your 30 minutes with us. I am Martin Esiedudati. There is more news on our website, 3news.com. Do have a good evening, and as always, stay positive. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
kai nyonya mi e mi prem me pese me kinkai na maresu adarasio me kinka ya me kinka yo me kinka ya family so me kinka ya me kinka yo me kinka ya family so me pese me kinkai nyonya mi e mi prem me pese me kinkai na maresu adarasio me kinka ya me kinka yo